Hello and welcome everybody to Studio and Impending. My name is Jason and today we are going to be talking about Unity sliders. This video was actually requested by one of my YouTube subscribers, so thank you so much to you, Psychedelic Kitten. Thank you for the request, and we're going to get this video done today in 10 minutes or less, so stick around and we're going to make this quick, I promise. So without further ado, roll the intro. Okay, so a slider is a UI component that allows users to select a value from a range by dragging a handle along a track. At least that's Unity's definition. So what do we actually use them for? In the example you see on screen, I am using them to change my players' color of each of their outfit items, their red, green and blue values, and also change their animated controllers to change the item of clothing that they're wearing. That is just one of many things we can use them for, and in the rest of this video we are going to show you how. Okay, let's add a slider to the game. So if we right click on the hierarchy and select game object, then UI, and then we scroll down to slider, it will appear in our game, just like that. It does attach itself to a canvas. It creates that automatically. Slider can't exist on its own. Poor slider. Over here on the rect transform, we can adjust its values. I've centered it here. With the anchor points, if you hold down Shift or Alt, you can also position it automatically based on its parent game object, which is super useful. Now, as for the slider itself, what can we do with the slider? So if you pay attention to this min and max value, we got it set from 0 to 1, and the value slider for the slider, I know, adjusts its value, and we can change this to whatever we want. At the moment, it's based on a float value because it's not using whole numbers. So if we change that to 0.5, that's obviously 50%. And if we go ahead and toggle on the whole numbers, it's going to give us 0, because obviously going to have 0.5, and this will be based on integer numbers. Another really cool thing we can do with sliders is to customize it to our specific game. We can change the handle object, so we can change the sprite to whatever we want. So in my case, let me zoom in a little bit, we've changed it to this fish because I love the fish. I drew the fish. And obviously that can be anything you want in your game, which is really cool. Okay, let's make the slider do something. So we just have an example script here, and if we attach a slider, obviously we're going to need to use Unity Engine.UI because the slider is a UI element. There you go, so the squiggly line's gone. We'll just call that my slider, and then all we're going to do is debug.log, and we're going to call it slider value in string, so it will appear in the console, and then just add my slider.value. Now we can attach that script to anything we want. I've just attached it to the canvas here, and then obviously just make sure that we plug in the slider so it knows what value to look for. You'll get a null reference exception error if you don't, so be careful of that. If you see in the very bottom left, we have slider value 0. Because we've only set it to plus the value, it will go up but it won't go down. So we got 10 and then it doesn't go back down, but it did track the value, which is exactly what we want. Nice and easy. But let's say we don't just want to log the value in the console. This on value changed button here, if we add it and then add in the script, which is obviously on the canvas, not the slider, and then we're going to do some more complicated things. So we want to add an audio source. So let's say we want this to be a volume slider, but we're going to attach it to a specific audio source. Obviously in a bigger game you would attach it to oh my god, I forgot the word. What are they called? not audio source, audio mixer. You'd attach it to an audio mixer. But that's for another day. This is just for the volume. So what we're going to do, we will attach it and make sure we go to the set volume. Sorry, I didn't talk about the code then. It's all on the screen though. Very easy, very easy. We're going to make an audio source, and I've added in a piece of music just for this example. And our slider is going to control that piece of music now, because we're going to plug in the audio source. And if we just hit play, wait for this to load up. Load. Come on, you're wasting my time. I got 5 minutes left. And play. Okay, so we've still got time for one more example. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the brightness of our global light in Unity. So we'll use the Unity engine.rendering.universal, add our light 2D and a slider to control it. We're also going to add in the start method that the value equals the scene light dot intensity, and on the value change, obviously add a listener. So when we change the slider's value, we're going to set the brightness in exactly the same way as we set the volume. Two really good examples of how to use a slider. Back in Unity, we're just going to duplicate this slider and make one for the volume and one for the brightness. We'll just keep them both in for now. It's only an example, but let's say you were setting up like a settings menu and you wanted to have all your different settings. Like I said earlier, you'd use an audio mixer usually rather than for like one specific audio source. That'd be kind of dumb. You'd have loads of volume sliders for different different sounds. But we'll also have one for volume as well. And obviously you can use this for a bunch of different things. Sliders are really going to be effective in like a big scale commercial game. Like you can't have a game without sliders, so it's really important to know how to use them. But like I said, we'll duplicate the slider, make one for volume, one for brightness, and then we just need to plug in the sliders, like I said earlier about layout groups as well. So let's say you had your canvas, your UI, like your settings menu. You'd want to make sure that your sliders were grouped like correctly and they looked nice, more importantly. So that's what we're doing here, just kind of making them look nice. Doesn't really matter, this is just an example for me, but it's just kind of what I would do. Once we've done that, after much fiddling, come on, I'm on the clock here, but it's alright, we still got time to waste. Alright, so we'll change the handle just so we know that one's for volume. We don't need the little fish on that one. This is just going to have the knob, and then the brightness one is going to be for the fish, because the only game object that I've got in my scene that's going to be affected by the brightness is going to be a fish. So as you can see, it's just black at the moment. I've gone ahead and added a universal render pipeline, just to show you guys what you can do. We'll plug all the things, the light 2D, and obviously the brightness slider will plug in there. And we changed the on value changed button to be the set brightness and not the set volume. And that's about everything, other than some more tweaking. Sorry. You know when you're just doing a thing. I recorded this for this video, and this is so unnecessary, but I was like, no, I want it to look good. But it's alright, we've still got time. We got time. Come on, let's go. I actually just remembered, by the way, I'm using the built-in recording software rather than OBS Studio, so the volume slider, you can't hear the volume. It's working still like it was. We didn't change anything. It's just the software I use. But now we've also got a brightness one. I didn't want to re-record. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it all works. How easy was that? And that's just a few examples of many things you can do. All right. That about wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and like I said, less than 10 minutes. If you have any more questions about sliders, like I said, there's so many more things that you can do with them, but these were just a few examples that I thought would be handy to show you. But any more questions, I'm gonna start doing more lives soon, so if you want I can put those that information in live. We can do like a whole thing, and I'll do a section on it, because there are really like so many more things. So you can do like health. You know, if you had like a health bar, maybe you had like what's the game? Is it Baldur's Gate Diablo, where it has the like vertical like potion-y style health bar? You can do things like that with sliders. Not to mention like animations and stuff. I didn't even get into like interacting with sliders and all the things that you can do with that. Like, it genuinely is crazy what you can do. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. And if you want, obviously leave me a like. That really means a lot to me. Leave a comment definitely, and subscribe to the channel. And that is it. I think that's 0. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.